Have you ever said yes when every part of you screamed no? Maybe it was to keep the peace, to avoid conflict, or because you felt obligated. But here's the truth. Every time you fail to set a boundary, you sacrifice a piece of your own peace. Think about that. Peace. It's the thing we all crave, yet we hand it away like it's nothing. Why? You're not alone. Boundaries, the invisible lines that separate what we allow from what we don't, are essential for a balanced, fulfilling life. Yet, for so many of us, setting them feels like walking a tightrope between guilt and fear. Why does it feel so hard to protect our own well-being? Welcome to Stoic Blessing, where we transform ancient wisdom into modern tools for strength and clarity. Today, we're uncovering why setting boundaries feels so difficult and, more importantly, how to make it effortless. Guided by the principles of Stoicism, we'll explore mindset shifts and strategies to help you reclaim your time, energy, and peace. Before we dive in, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support helps spread the wisdom of Stoicism to those who need it. And while you're here, comment this below. I honor my peace with every choice. Let's set the tone for the journey ahead. Now, let's start where the struggle begins, the illusion of obligations. Why do we feel so compelled to say yes, even when it costs us dearly? Number 1. The illusion of obligations. Most of the obligations we feel are illusions. Think about it. How often do you say yes because you feel like you have to, not because you truly want to? Maybe it's a favor for a friend, an extra task at work, or something your family expects of you. But who told you that you must always be available, always agreeable? Was it a specific person, or is it just a belief you've carried without questioning? The Stoics teach us to separate what we can control from what we can't. Obligations imposed by others, outside our control, but the boundaries we set, entirely ours to command. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength begins the moment you stop giving away control of your life. And here's the paradox. When you give in to obligations rooted in guilt or fear, you weaken yourself and your ability to help others. Imagine your life as a boat weighed down by unnecessary cargo. How far can you sail when you're carrying things you were never meant to? Protecting your time and energy doesn't just serve you, it ensures you can show up fully for what truly matters. Obligations rooted in guilt are like clouds. They seem heavy, but they're only vapor. The weight you feel isn't real. When you let go of that weight, you gain freedom. Freedom to say yes to what aligns with your values and no to what doesn't. If this resonates with you, comment below. My time is my fortress. Let that phrase remind you to protect what matters most: your peace, your energy, and your purpose. Next, we'll tackle something that stops many of us from protecting our peace: the fear of conflict. Why does standing up for ourselves feel so dangerous? Number 2, boundaries and the fear of conflict. Why does setting boundaries feel so dangerous? For many of us, the answer is simple: fear of conflict. We're afraid that saying no will upset someone, damage a relationship, or create tension. But here's the irony: avoiding conflict often creates more of it in the long run. Picture this. You say yes to something you didn't want to do, maybe as a favor, extra work, or an invitation you felt obligated to accept. At first, it seems harmless, but over time, resentment builds. You start to feel stretched too thin, undervalued, or even taken for granted. That resentment often leads to an outburst or withdrawal, creating exactly the kind of conflict you wanted to avoid. The Stoics understood fear as a distortion of reality. Epictetus taught, what disturbs people is not things, but their judgments about things. In other words, the fear of upsetting someone is a story we tell ourselves, it's not a guaranteed outcome. And even if someone reacts negatively to your boundary, their response is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to live with integrity and honor your own values. Here's something to remember. Boundaries don't ruin relationships. They reveal them. If someone truly values you, they'll respect your boundaries, even if they're disappointed in the moment. If they don't, then their respect was conditional all along. Either way, your boundaries bring clarity. So, how do you overcome the fear of conflict? Start small. Practice saying no in situations where the stakes aren't as high. For example, decline a casual invitation or turn down a small favor. Each time you do, you'll build the confidence to handle bigger challenges. And when fear creeps in, remind yourself, temporary discomfort is far better than long-term regret. If this resonates with you, drop this in the comments. Peace comes when courage speaks. Let that phrase remind you that every act of courage, no matter how small, protects your inner peace. Next, let's explore a powerful Stoic principle that can free you from the weight of others' opinions. What if their judgment isn't yours to carry? Stay tuned. Number 3. Emotional detachment from others' opinions. What if I told you that other people's opinions of you are none of your business? Let that sink in for a moment. So much of our hesitation to set boundaries comes from the fear of being judged. Will they think I'm selfish? Will they call me unkind? But here's the truth. Their opinions belong to them, not to you. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus said, "If you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity." Seeking approval makes us vulnerable to losing sight of what truly matters: our values, our principles, our peace. Their opinions are outside your control, but your response to them? That's entirely yours to own. Think of it like this. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with heavy stones. Each stone represents someone's opinion of you. Some are small criticisms, others are heavier judgments. Over time, the weight grows unbearable. But here's the thing. You chose to pick up that backpack. You don't have to carry it. Every time you let someone else's judgment dictate your actions, you're adding another stone. The key to freedom is learning to put the backpack down. When you set boundaries, some people may react negatively. That's true. But their reaction says more about them than it does about you. And here's the paradox. When you stop seeking approval, you become more confident, more grounded, and, ironically, more respected. People value those who value themselves. So, how do you let go of the weight of others' opinions? Practice reminding yourself that their judgment is not your burden to carry. When someone reacts negatively to your boundary, pause and say, "This is theirs, not mine." Release it and move forward. If this resonates with you, comment below, "Their judgment is their weight, not mine." Let that phrase remind you to put down the backpack of others' expectations and walk freely in alignment with your values. Next, we'll explore the hidden cost of saying yes too often and how every yes to others can become a no to yourself. Stay tuned. Number 4. Understanding the cost of yes. Every time you say yes to something, you're also saying no to something else. Think about that for a moment. Your time, energy, and focus are limited. When you give them away freely, you're taking them away from the things that truly matter: your goals, your well-being, your peace. The Stoics were masters of prioritization. Seneca reminds us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." When you say yes out of guilt or obligation, you're wasting your most precious resource, time, and once it's spent, you can't get it back. Every yes must be a deliberate choice, not a reflexive reaction. Imagine your life as a garden. Each moment you spend is a seed. When you say yes to things that don't align with your values, you're planting weeds instead of flowers. Those weeds take over, leaving no room for growth or beauty. Overcommitting doesn't just drain your energy, it suffocates the life you're trying to cultivate. But let's be clear, This isn't about refusing to help others. Generosity is a virtue in Stoicism, but it must come from a place of intention and strength. A hollow yes helps no one. A genuine no, on the other hand, creates space for you to give your best where it truly matters. So here's a simple practice. The next time someone asks for your time or energy, pause before answering. Ask yourself, does this align with my values? Will it help me or them in a meaningful way, or am I saying yes out of guilt or fear? If the answer isn't clear, it's okay to take more time to decide. Boundaries start with thoughtful choices. If this resonates with you, comment below. Every choice must honor my purpose. Let that be a reminder to spend your time and energy wisely on the things that truly matter to you. Next, let's reframe the word no. It's not just a rejection, it's a gift to yourself and others. Let's dive deeper into why saying no is an act of integrity. Number 5. Why no is a gift to yourself and others. The word no often feels heavy, doesn't it? Like it's shutting doors, turning people away, or letting them down. But what if I told you that saying no is one of the most generous things you can do for yourself and for others? Here's why. When you say no to something that doesn't align with your values or priorities, you're being honest. You're showing others the real you instead of pretending to be someone you're not. That honesty builds trust. It sets clear expectations. It prevents resentment, the kind that silently grows when you agree to things you don't actually want to do. The Stoics remind us to act with integrity in all things. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." A false yes, one said out of guilt, fear, or obligation, is neither right nor true. It dishonors both you and the other person. But a thoughtful, sincere no, that's an act of respect. Think of it like this. Your energy is a resource, and like any resource, it's finite. If you spend it on things that don't matter, you won't have any left for the things that do. When you protect your time and energy, you ensure that when you do say yes, it's meaningful. It's a gift you can give wholeheartedly. But here's the part that surprises people. Most of the time, people will respect your no more than a half-hearted yes. They might be disappointed in the moment, but in the long run, they'll value your honesty and clarity. And if they don't, that's not your burden to carry. It's a reflection of their own expectations. So, how do you say no in a way that feels natural? Keep it simple. You can say, "I appreciate the offer, but I can't commit right now," or "Thank you for thinking of me, but I need to focus on other priorities." No lengthy explanation is needed. A clear, kind no speaks for itself. If this resonates with you, comment below. True value lives in honest decisions. Let that phrase remind you that every no you say creates space for the things that truly matter. Next, let's explore how to build boundaries with the help of Stoicism. Practical exercises can make this process easier and more natural. Stay tuned. Number 6. Practical Stoic exercises to build boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't just about what you say, it's about how you think. And that's where Stoicism shines. The Stoics didn't just theorize about resilience and clarity, they practiced it daily. Let's explore a few simple exercises that can help you strengthen your boundaries and make them feel effortless. First, there's premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This is the Stoic practice of mentally preparing for challenges before they happen. Think about a situation where you might need to set a boundary, maybe declining an invitation, turning down extra work, or telling someone no. Visualize their reaction. Will they be disappointed, frustrated, or even upset? Then, prepare your response. How will you stay calm, clear, and confident? By rehearsing these scenarios, you'll feel more equipped to handle them in real life. Next, practice journaling for reflection. At the end of each day, Take 5 minutes to write about your interactions. Did you set a boundary today? Did you struggle to say no? What held you back? Reflecting on your actions helps you identify patterns and adjust your approach moving forward. Awareness is the first step to change. Another powerful tool is the dichotomy of control. This Stoic principle reminds us to focus only on what we can control and let go of the rest. When it comes to boundaries, you can control your actions, your words, and your tone, but you cannot control how others react. Accepting this truth can free you from the fear of disappointing others. Lastly, try negative visualization. Imagine what your life would look like if you never set boundaries, if you constantly said yes to everyone and everything. How would you feel? Stressed, exhausted, resentful. Now contrast that with a life where your time and energy are protected. Use this exercise to remind yourself why boundaries matter and why they're worth defending. These Stoic practices aren't just abstract ideas. They're tools you can use every day to strengthen your resolve and live with intention. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel to protect your peace. If this resonates with you, comment below. I prepare, therefore I thrive. Let this phrase remind you that preparation and reflection are the keys to building stronger boundaries. Next, we'll focus on how to say no gracefully, without guilt and without conflict. Let's dive into the art of declining with confidence. Number 7. The art of saying no gracefully. Saying no doesn't have to be a confrontation. In fact, when done with clarity and kindness, it can strengthen relationships and earn respect. The key is learning how to decline gracefully, without guilt or unnecessary conflict. The Stoics teach us to value truth and simplicity. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In other words, don't overcomplicate your response or feel the need to justify yourself. A simple, honest no can be more powerful than an overly detailed explanation. So how do you do it? Start by acknowledging the other person's request. For example, you might say, "Thank you for thinking of me," or "I appreciate you reaching out." This shows respect for their effort and sets a positive tone. Then, deliver your no with clarity. "I'm unable to commit to that right now," or "I need to focus on other priorities." Keep it brief, polite, and firm. Here's the part many people struggle with. You don't owe anyone a long explanation. Over-explaining often makes your no sound uncertain or opens the door for pushback. The more concise and confident you are, the more likely the other person will accept your answer. And if someone does try to argue or guilt you into changing your mind, stay calm. You can repeat your boundary without engaging in a debate. For example, "I understand this is important to you, but my decision stands." Stoicism reminds us to focus on what we can control, our words, tone, and composure, not how others react. Think of saying no as a skill. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to what truly matters in your life. If this resonates with you, comment below. Kind strength is still strength. Let this phrase remind you that setting boundaries with kindness is not weakness. It's courage in action. Next, we'll explore how boundaries can actually deepen your relationships. Why protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's compassionate. Stay with me. Number 8. Boundaries are compassion in disguise. Many people think that setting boundaries is selfish, but the truth is the opposite. Boundaries are one of the most compassionate things you can offer. They protect not just your peace, but also the health of your relationships. Imagine this. You agree to help a friend even though you're overwhelmed. At first, it seems like the right thing to do, but soon you start feeling stressed and resentful. That resentment, even if unspoken, seeps into your relationship. It creates tension, distances you, and undermines the very connection you were trying to protect. This is what happens when we ignore our limits. The Stoics teach us that true compassion begins with honesty. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." By setting clear boundaries, you show others how to treat you with respect, and in turn, how to respect themselves. When you honor your limits, you're modeling integrity, and that's a gift to everyone around you. Boundaries prevent misunderstandings and unmet expectations. When you're upfront about what you can and cannot do, you eliminate confusion and resentment. Instead of stretching yourself thin and risking burnout, you show up fully present for the things and people that matter most. But here's the most important part. Boundaries help others grow. When you say no, you give people the opportunity to solve their own problems, find other solutions, and build their resilience. You're not abandoning them, you're empowering them, and that's what real compassion looks like. So, the next time you feel guilty about setting a boundary, remind yourself, protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's a way to safeguard the connection you have with others. Healthy relationships thrive on clarity, not sacrifice. If this resonates with you, comment below. Love respects the line. Let this phrase remind you that boundaries are an act of love for yourself and those you care about. Next, we'll bring it all together and explore what it looks like to live as the guardian of your inner peace. Let's finish strong. Number 9. Living as the guardian of your inner peace. Imagine waking up each day knowing that your time, energy, and peace are protected. You no longer feel drained or resentful because you've taken control of your boundaries. That's the power of living as the guardian of your inner peace. The Stoics believed that peace begins within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This means your peace isn't dependent on others' opinions, demands, or expectations. It's something you cultivate by choosing what to allow into your life and what to keep out. Living as the guardian of your peace doesn't mean you close yourself off from the world. It means you decide, with intention, what deserves your energy. You embrace the things that align with your values and gently release what doesn't. You're no longer reactive to life's demands. You're proactive in shaping the life you want. But this path isn't always easy. There will be moments when saying no feels uncomfortable, when others challenge your boundaries, when guilt or doubt creeps in. In those moments, remind yourself, your boundaries are an act of self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of a strong, fulfilling life. Picture yourself as the gatekeeper of a beautiful garden, your garden. Every decision you make is a choice about what to let in. Some things nourish the soil, others deplete it. The stronger your boundaries, the more your garden thrives, filled with joy, purpose, and peace. If this resonates with you, comment below, "I protect my peace with purpose." Let this phrase remind you that every boundary you set is a step toward the life you deserve. In our final section, let's recap what we've learned and explore how Stoic wisdom can guide you to live with courage, clarity, and compassion every day. We've covered a lot today, but let's bring it all together. Boundaries aren't barriers, they're bridges. They connect you to the life you want to live and the person you want to become. And as we've seen, Stoicism provides timeless tools to make setting boundaries feel effortless. Remember the lessons. Most obligations are illusions. Fear of conflict is just a story we tell ourselves. Other people's opinions are not your burden to carry. Every yes has a cost, and every no is a gift. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're acts of compassion that nurture your relationships and your inner peace. The Stoics teach us that living with intention is the key to fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Boundaries are how you embody that wisdom. They let you live authentically, aligned with your values and purpose. So, what's your next step? Start small. Practice saying no where it feels safe. Reflect on where your time and energy are being drained, and decide what you'll no longer allow. Use Stoic exercises to build your confidence and clarity. Over time, you'll find that protecting your peace becomes second nature. And here's the most important part. Remember that you're worthy of the space you create. Your peace, your energy, your time, they matter. You matter. When you honor your boundaries, you honor yourself. If this message has resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share this phrase below. I live with courage, clarity, and compassion. Let it remind you of the power you hold to create a life rooted in strength and wisdom. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss more Stoic insights. Together, we can continue to learn and grow, one choice at a time. Until next time, stay strong, stay clear, and stay true to your purpose. This is Stoic Blessing, signing off.